Hey everyone, welcome back to Wakelet Community Week, day 5. I've been so excited to get to start these days with you, and today is no different. We have a really great session coming up for you, for some of you to start your day, for some of you in the middle of the day. This is going to be a really exciting session, but I want to remind you of a couple of things. So we've gone over the contest this week for Wakelet Community Week. You want to make sure that you are sharing your screenshots, your selfies, your slide decks, whatever things you want to share out there, but make sure they are hashtagged Wakelet Community Week and you are tagging at Wakelet. Whatever social media you're sharing at, make sure you're tagging and hashtagging those two things. In addition to that, I want to remind you that we have the Wakelet Community Week profile. So that's going to be at www.wakelet.com/Wakelet Community Week 2023. You want to have that ready. That is where all of the resources and sessions will be found. And don't forget about our new community on Circle. If you have not joined that, I will have the team pop the link in the chat so you can become part of that community. I went in there this morning, seeing some of the posts and the notifications and the likes. So all of the videos from the recorded sessions this week can be found there as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do some yoga today with someone very special. It's another Amy in our life, but this Amy is from Long Branch Public School District. And welcome, Amy. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm doing wonderful. How are you? I'm so honored to be here.
I'm excited. We're so excited about this session. I think all of us in the office here, they're all working behind the scenes, but they can hear you. We're all going to do this with you. So those of you that are in the chat, make sure to join us with this. I see Ryan is yoga ready. Amy, he's probably got his yoga pants on right now, getting ready to do yoga with you. And so, for those of you watching, I asked Amy if she was a Wakelet ambassador yet, and she said not yet, but our friend Lois in Long Branch, as well as Alex, they've been helping Amy, and so we know that Amy is going to be part of the community. So all of you that are joining and watching, please welcome Amy. We are so excited. I'm going to mute myself, Amy, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on the screen with you. And essentially, I'm going to do everything with you as the audience is doing it with you. So this is a little bit different, but I'm really, really excited. You know, I love mindfulness, so I'm excited to learn from you.
Yes. So thank you so much again for having me, and for Lois Allison for teaching me how to use Wakelet. She's been my biggest inspiration, and for all the wisdom and guidance she's given me. So I thank her for connecting me to Wakelet. So again, I'm honored to be here. And no matter where you are in the world, whether you're home, whether you're at school, whether you're at work, wherever you are, you have everything you need from within to practice yoga, to practice mindfulness, because you have all that potential from within. So you are welcome to join in. Even if you don't have a mat, we can do this in the chair. So I'm going to share with you some self-care tools to support your health and your well-being, to really find that success, because self-care is so important. When we're able to take care of ourselves, then we're able to take care of others. So, self-care doesn't have to be super fancy. It can just be these mindful moments to connect to your breath, to find what brings you joy, no matter where you are. So I like to say that, your breath is your power, and wherever you go, you can tune into your breath, because, when we're stressed out, when we have so much going on, we're breathing like this in our sympathetic nervous system. But really, we forget we have that parasympathetic nervous system of rest and digest. And just as you inhale, when the belly expands, it activates those nerve endings at the base of our belly, connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, to naturally calm and cool our body down. So we are going to be doing some breathing techniques with some of my other tools. But I like to say that, this all begins in our mind, right? Our brain is the most powerful muscle in our body. Right? What we think, our thoughts, become our words, and the words that we speak become our actions. So how can we practice this self-care first in our mind? And there is this book written, it's called The Hidden Messages in Water by Masaru Emoto. And this scientist, he did this experiment where he took 2 bottles of water, said all positive things to one bottle of water, negative things to the other bottle of water, froze the bottles. And then when he looked at the molecular makeup, the positive water bottle, the crystals turned out like these beautiful, snowflake-like geometric shapes. Whereas the negative, words came out like this, right? Not so pretty. And I find that to be a powerful visualization, because how many times, are we in our mind, right? Thinking, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good enough for this. That we're creating this negativity already. We're not even setting ourselves up for success. So just by having these positive affirmations, I am strong, I am brave, I can do this, can be really powerful. That can be your mantra. That can be your affirmation of the day. Working with kids, because here in Long Branch, I work with the whole entire school district, which has been a dream come true. So from the littles to the staff. But I love using affirmations. And one of my favorite card decks is called Manifest Your Magnificence by Susan Howson. And what I love about it, you pick a card that says, I am focused. And on the back, it says, I finish where I begin. So you can create these daily affirmations, whether you write it on a note card. I love them for any age group. For, the teens and adults, the card deck Power Thought Cards by Louise Hay, another great one for adults. So for example, I experience love wherever I go. Love is everywhere, and I am loving and lovable. Loving people fill my life, and I find myself easily expressing love to others. So maybe you just start your day by picking an affirmation card, writing it down. So many different ways, even to do a one-word check-in can be really powerful as we start to connect to our breath. I also love using mudras. So mudras are yoga of our hands. And today we're going to go through our chakras, which are our inner rainbow superpowers. And I love using tools, right? Visuals. So the mudras by Alison Di Nicola and Sabine Espinat are one of my favorite card decks to use. And I picked my 7 favorite of the chakras that we're going to do together. So I'll show you first, and then we'll do this while we're doing our singing bowl. So for the color red, right, it's like you're riding a bike, and you can even add some movement here. This is great if you're on your phone a lot, or your technology. Then the next color rainbow is orange, and I like to call this one the turtle. So one hand out, one hand over, and you can make some movement with your thumbs. You can make some movement, with your hands. And by the way, you can also integrate all of these mudras into, traditional yoga poses, so you can get creative with it as well. So for the color yellow, we have 2 thumbs up, just like that. Then for the color green, we have our lotus mudra, so your thumb, heel of your hand, and your pinky fingers together. For the color blue, we have the butterfly, that you hook your thumbs. And then the color indigo, you point your finger to your thumb. And for the color purple, like a bowl of soup. So if you just take a moment here, we'll go through the whole rainbow together. So you have the color red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. So you're welcome to do that, or pick your favorite, color of the rainbow, or even just create your own mudra as we are going to connect to our breath. And again, I welcome you wherever you are to get comfortable. Other tools that I like to use as well to connect to our breath, I love using crystals. So my personal 2 favorites are rose quartz and clear quartz. And, it's rocks come from the earth, right? They help to ground us. So when our mind starts to be swirling, our breath naturally grounds us, just like the rock, right? It's always there for us. So sometimes it's nice if you get into crystals, you can have them in your hand. You can also put them on your belly as a tool. So if you're laying down, you'll notice your belly go up and down as you're connecting to an object. I've also used stuffed animals. You can get creative to create that tangible item to, again, connect to your breath. I also love using essential oils. So maybe you have your diffuser going. Personally, for kids, the lavender is really good for calming. Peppermint is good for focus, and lemon is also good for focus and immunity. So these are 3 great essential oils for the classroom. I've also, turned them into what I like to call magical mist. So your own little spray. So, you can find these in any store, just an empty spray bottle. And then I add a couple drops of each of the essential oils, depending on, what scent I want to create. Then you always want to mix it with a carrier oil, an oil you cook with. So I have the refractionated coconut oil and a little bit of water. And then you mix it all together and you shake it up each time. And then almost like perfume or cologne, you could spray it on yourself just to, again, reset yourself, to have that mindful moment, depending on your favorite scent. And then I also like to, create eye pillows. So eye pillows are great tools for relaxation. When you're laying down, you can place it over your eyes. Again, another great tool for your belly, for your neck, whatever, feels good for you. But I also like to call these heart work crafts, right? Connecting to our heart, where you can make your own eye pillow. I took a knee-high sock, I tied a knot at the end, and then I filled it with about a cup of, rice. And then I've also added in dried lavender or some essential oils. And then you tie a knot at the other end and you can create your very own eye pillow for relaxation. So again, getting creative to, create these different tools for mindfulness and relaxation. And also, I'm all about coloring to calm, as I like to call it. You're never too old to color. And this example I have are coloring yantras. So yantras are geometric shapes similar to mandalas, but again, this connect us to our power here. And this is the sun mandala, as we all have that sun that shines within our heart to find that light, right? To connect with each other. So, you can find any kind of coloring page online that, connects to you to color to calm, as I like to call it. And finally, before we begin, I know we're all waiting to practice our breathing with our singing bowls, but I wanted to share with the Wakelet resource collection that I have of different tools and using technology to create these mindful moments. So there's tons of resources that I've provided on this Wakelet, but I've also had my students use Flipgrid, using Canva, using Mote, using Seesaw to have them be the voice. The yoga pretzel cards are another great resource that I love to use because they come with guided meditations already for you. And you can find all different types of, meditation scripts. So sometimes it's nice for, your students to hear themselves be the speaker, or maybe you as the educator, the teacher, the parent, record your voice. And that might be more, comforting to them. I also provided on there a bunch of free links from Headspace, Calm, and Insight Timer. Those are like the biggest 3 app companies right now that have different resources for schools. So it's always good to know, just have a variety of tools because, every day your body changes. So you might connect better one day to one meditation than to another. It can be really hard to sit, right? So just finding different ways, whether it be walking in nature, just connecting to your 5 senses can really bring you back to the moment of what do I see, what do I smell, what do I taste, what do I hear, what do I feel, brings us back when our mind starts to get all over the place. So with that being said, you can make yourself in a comfortable seat. Perhaps you use one of the mudras to breathe with today. If you're in a place where you can lay down, you can lay down. Another great option is if you have a chair nearby, you can choose to lay down and bring your feet up the chair, legs up the chair, just to relax your feet there. That can be really powerful. Even having your legs up the wall is a great restorative pose to start with. So again, use what you have to create this sense of calm. And I'm going to start with our clear quartz crystal singing bowl, which really helps to clear out all the stuff in your mind, right? Because our body and mind are connected. So again, you're welcome to have your hands in a mudra. Also, just bringing your hands to your heart can be really powerful as well. But again, make yourself feel comfortable, whether your eyes are open or your eyes are closed. But just taking these first few moments to connect to you as you breathe in and breathe out. Relaxing your body, relaxing your minds. And just allow your breath to guide you, clearing out any clouds in the way of your sunshine, right? Because the sun always shines, even on a cloudy day, there is life. So right now, just noticing the moment, even if a lot is going on in your classroom right now or whatever space you're in, just tune it back to your breath as you breathe in and breathe out. Knowing your breath is your power. Breathing in, breathing out. And if it's helpful to think of that affirmation, that mantra, I am strong, I am brave, I am smart, I am creative. And let that be on replay in your mind. And you can also start to think of what brings you joy, right? What makes you smile? What makes your heart smile as you breathe in and breathe out? Breathing in, breathing out, feeling so calm, so cool, so peaceful. Again, tuning into your own light. And when our brain can rest, we can do our best. So carving out this time for self-care is so important. These mindful moments to slow down, to pause, because when we're able to do less, we can actually do more. So we'll stay here for a few more moments. I'm going to start to play another singing bowl. So just, again, inhaling, breathing in, exhaling, breathing out. Singing bowls, they come in all different shapes and sizes. So breathing in, breathing out, again, clearing out anything in the way of your sunshine. The sun always shines, even on a cloudy day, there is light. Again, repeating those positive power of affirmations. Again, just noticing how you are in this very moment. Mindfulness is present moment awareness. So right here, right now, connecting to your breath, it's your anchor. Right as you inhale and exhale. And I like to say the singing bowls are the sound of our heart, this vibration. It's in all of us. It connects us all together. So we'll stay here for 10 more seconds as I also have the ting sha chimes, another great tool. So just breathing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So slowly start to open your eyes. If you had your eyes closed, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, stomp your feet, create a little bit of movement. And just take a moment to notice, right? Just by taking a few moments to practice what I like to call musical meditation of mindfulness of how did that make me feel? Right? And you're welcome to write that in the chat, a one-word check-in, whether you have it there or you write it down in a journal. Again, keeping a gratitude journal. I like to call it the attitude of gratitude, right? There's always something to be grateful for each day, whether it's your breath or just, being able to be here, to be present can be so powerful. So again, it's a wonderful practice of self-care. You can find singing bowls, online, different holistic stores. And I like to say the singing bowls choose you. When I go into the stores, I like to, try them out and see what I connect with, So I hope you enjoyed that. So now we're going to add in some movement. And you're welcome to do this sitting in a chair if you have a mat. We are going to focus on the 6 movements of our spine, which is super important, especially in society where we're just sitting more, whether we're at our desk, whether we're commuting. So you're welcome to, I'm sitting on the ground on a mat. I'm in a cross-legged position. But if you're sitting in a chair, you're welcome to make sure your feet are on the ground. So we're going to start with our seated cat-cows. And you're welcome if you want to add in some animal sounds to add in some moos and meows as well. But for your cat-cows, you're going to high-five your knees. Breathe in. This is your cow pose as your heart moves forward. And then as you breathe out, round your spine, tuck your chin, your chest. That's your cat pose as you listen to your heart. So move like you, breathe like you, do what feels best for you in our seated cat cows. If you prefer cat cow, using your hands and your knees like a tabletop, you're welcome to do that as well. Again, you can do this sitting in a chair. Just be mindful if your chair has wheels on it, so you don't roll away if at your desk. But just, again, doing what feels best for you as you breathe in and breathe out. Again, moving the heart forward, back and forth as you inhale and exhale, connecting the breath to your movement, breathing in, breathing out. And then on your next breath, we'll come back through to center. We're going to add in some Sufi circles. So wherever you are, again, clearing out the clouds, getting your hips moving. Maybe you go fast, maybe you go slow, whatever feels best for you as you breathe in and breathe out. And then we'll take it to the other direction as you breathe in and breathe out. Amazing. And then we'll come back through to center. All right, so now we're gonna move our spine from side to side. So you can do this standing, you can do this sitting. You're gonna breathe in, reach and stretch your arms up to the sky, and then we're gonna turn into a candy cane. So we're gonna reach and stretch over to one side. We're gonna do both sides, so do it side, whatever feels good for you. So perhaps your hands are just like this. If you feel like you want a little bit more, I'm stretching towards the left, so I'm going to reach for my right wrist and gently guide it over. Maybe this is you. You can also box your elbows. Anytime you hollow out your armpits, you're also getting rid of stress as well. Oh, I see more Wakelet friends joining in. Fantastic. If you're sitting down, you can also have one arm down, one arm up. That also works. If you're together, you can do a partner pose. Teamwork makes the dream work. You can high five your neighbor if you'd like as well. And then you'll come back. There we go. Breathe it back to center. And whatever you do to one side, do to the other. So listen to your body. Our body changes every day. So you can reach and stretch over to one side. Now I'm stretching over to the right. Maybe this is you today. Maybe you want a little bit more. You reach for your wrist. Maybe, again, you box your elbows. Maybe it's one arm down, one arm up. Or, again, high-fiving your neighbor. Air high fives virtually. Feel that connection. Fantastic. And then we'll all fly back to center, shake it out. And you can also do all those poses standing as well, standing in your mountain pose, feet on the ground. And I like to call that candy cane pose, whether you're sitting or standing or whatever feels best for you. So now the last two movements of our spine are the twists. So this also strengthens our brain power because we're going to strengthen the midline of our brain by connecting left over right and right over left. So in a seated position, I'm going to take my left hand to my right knee, my right arm right behind me. And if I'm sitting in a chair, I can also just put my hand on the chair, whatever feels good for you. You're going to look over your right shoulder, smile, or make a silly face to make someone else smile as you breathe in and breathe out. And just imagine your body like a sponge and you're just rinsing out all the stuff you no longer need. So just rinse it out, let it go. Anything that's in the way of your focus, clouding up your mind, release it, let it go. And then we'll fly back through to center, breathe here. And we're going to take it to the other side. So right hand to your left knee, left arm right behind you. Look over your shoulder, twist, smile, make a silly face to make someone else smile. Whatever feels best for you as you breathe in and breathe out. And then we'll fly back through to center. All right, now my favorite, our lion's breath. So you're going to reach your arms out wide and we're going to roar like a lion. This is a great power breath and energizing breath to really, again, clear it all out. So as you breathe in, you're going to imagine yourself as a strong lion. Breathe in, reach and stretch your arms up to the sky, and breathe out. You're going to stick out your tongue to go, just like that. Let's do that 2 more times. You got it. Breathe in, reach and stretch your arms up. Breathe it out. Let it roar. Release it. One more time. You got this, Wakelet. Breathe in, reach and stretch your arms up to the sky. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Let it roar. Fantastic. Again, lion's breath, really powerful, clears out all the stuff. All right, so from here, we're going to take it down to a child's pose. Now, if you're on a mat, you can do a child's pose on the mat. You can also do this with a desk, which I also like to call desk press. So if you had a desk with you, so I'll just use the chair to show you, I could just make a little pillow with my arms and bring my head to, my hands here. It's where an eye pillow is nice to have, a little cushion or something. You could do this on your desk or the traditional child's pose. And again, always make yourself comfortable by using, props. If you have a blanket, a block, a bolster, but child's pose, you can do a couple different ways. You can either bring your knees together, arms by your side, head to your heart, just like this. Perhaps this is your child's pose or your rock pose. Or you can create some space between your knees, make the letter V, and then reach and stretch your arms forward. And again, do what feels best for you. Sometimes it's nice to have a block or something to bring the ground up for your head. Or if you feel like you need a little bit more, I'd like to call this puppy dog, where you'll curl your toes, all right? And then you'll tense your fingertips like Spider-Man, just like this as you breathe in and breathe out. So right now, just do what feels best for you wherever you are, using what you have to connect the head to the heart so we can lead with love, right? So we'll stay here for 5 more nice deep breaths wherever you are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So nice and slowly from our child's pose, we're going to come to a downward dog. So the first downward dog I'm going to show you is, again, a traditional downward dog using a mat. We're like a upside down capital letter V, all right? And this is also great for students with developing their handwriting skills. It's a great pose to do that as well. And again, feeling your own inner strength and power. So I'm going to make sure my palms are nice and wide. And then I'm going to roll forward to my tabletop pose and then curl my toes and lift my hips, downward dog. Okay, so this is a downward dog using a mat. You can get creative here. You can lift your heels up. You can lift your heels back down. You can reach and stretch one leg up, one leg down. Right? You can get a little fancy here. Again, what's great for your handwriting is going from a downward dog to roll forward to a high plank top of a push-up and then press it back. So if you want to do downward dog plank push-ups, you're welcome to do so. I'm also going to show you, I'm just going to move my laptop here to show you how you can use the downward dog by using a desk or a table. So here, if you're going to use a desk, okay, similar to the floor, I'm going to, again, make sure my palms are nice and wide, high five the desk, and then walk my feet back as I breathe in and breathe out. So again, I can let my head hang. If I want to play with it, get fancy, again, I can reach one leg back, right? You can get creative here by using the desk here. You can also get creative, we'll bring that chair back, by using a chair. All right, so you can use the base of the chair, again, palms on the ground, walk your feet back, feel that nice stretch. It's also a nice stretch for the shoulders. Again, you can lift a leg up, maybe make some circles to support your joints. You can also do this using the back of the chair as well. But you just want to make sure you press your hands down on the chair, the table. Even using a wall is great too. Then push it away because you don't want to hurt yourself. Safety first. So breathe here. Find your downward dog as you breathe in and breathe out. Whatever feels good for you. You'll stay in your downward dog for 3 more nice deep breaths. You got it. And then shake it out. All right, our last pose that we're going to do, I'm going to first show you standing. I'll put this down so you can see me better, of our tree pose. But we're also going to do our tree pose on the ground as we come back to relaxation. So if you'd want to do tree pose standing, I start out in a mountain pose, my feet on the ground. And then I can either choose to be a kickstand tree where my toes still touch the ground, but it's my ankle to my heel. Maybe it comes a little higher. You just never want to press your foot on your knee joint. So either below your knee, above your knee. You can add in a mudra, right? We did the whole rainbow before. You can also add your tree branches. So perhaps your arms are to the sky. You can get creative with your trees. What helps is keeping your eyes on one thing that's not moving, that focal point. But guess what? You can also change your perspective, right? The way we can change our perspective by the way we look at things. The things we look at change. So you can also, if you'd rather be a resting tree today, you can come onto the ground, bring your foot to your leg, and then just relax here in your tree pose, still keeping your standing leg active, right? Maybe your arms go over your head, your hands come to your heart, whatever makes you feel good. All right, whether you try a standing tree, a resting tree, whatever feels good for you. And be sure you try it on the other side as well for your tree pose to feel balanced. And, it's not about getting the balance, right? It's planting these seeds to grow, right? It's how we become the tree in our everyday life. It's okay to fall. It's okay to try again, right? That's really the purpose of these poses isn't about getting it, right? It's the journey there, right? So just allowing yourself to plant these seeds of kindness as we come back to our breath, because time flies when you're having fun with these mindful moments. So again, you're welcome to sit down, to lay down, whatever makes you feel comfortable as we come back to our breath for these last few mindful moments. Breathing in, breathing out, just noticing how you feel just by moving your body, moving your mind. Breathe in, breathe out, and clearing out anything in the way of your sunshine, tuning into your own inner lights. Because that is the self-care. It starts with you. It starts in your heart to fill up your own cup, to be able to share that with each other, your students, your coworkers, your family. This is where it all starts. It's not about the poses. It's about that breath, that connection, right? Our words matter. Those positive affirmations, right? It starts with you. It starts in your heart. We'll stay here for 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Still going. So I'll take a nice deep breath together. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, the word namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my passion with the Wakelet community today. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, the Wakelet that I provided are all the different Wakelet that my students have made, because I love using it. Each week on Wednesday, I do a weekly Wave Wellness Wednesday Zoom where all of the elementary schools in the district Zoom in. And it's been a great platform to showcase our students' work virtually. So I've really enjoyed using it with our March Madness Mindfulness Challenge, our Wave Wellness Game Plan. So it's been really great tool. So I put all of the Wakelets that our district have used for the wellness in that Wakelet, along with a ton of other resources to support you. Feel free to follow me on Twitter to find more inspiration or just to connect, because this is my passion. So I love to share it with the world. So thank you
Amy,
all so much.
that was so, the chat was loving it. And they were also loving that your yoga session was making me yawn. But you and I talked before we got on the live, and I told you that I ground myself a lot and I do reset my energy. So I think that's one piece of advice that I have. Our team travels to conferences and we're around a lot of people at one time for multiple days. The things that I do, a strategy that I have, is actually to go ground myself. You were talking about the rocks and your breath, and I like to go, walk in the grass specifically. Another thing I do is I have, and you maybe could speak more to this, and this was my question for you. I have a lot of playlists that I listen to keep myself focused when I'm working on my laptop. And I have looked into different like megahertz. Do you have any playlists that are on your collection, your Wakelet collection that you shared? And if not, could you add some specifically for me, Amy? No, for the whole group. Because here's the thing, it really was awesome. And our team was doing it. A lot of, you couldn't see everybody. Rosie did join me actually on camera. We talk about mindfulness here really often. And I think it is very, very important. Someone in the chat at the very beginning said that this is a great way to detox and break from technology. And we all are clearly on technology all the time. And I think it's just really important. But if you have a playlist that you love, I would love for you to add that in the resources. Maybe, something that would be useful for students as they're working quietly. But I really do, I enjoy it. And I think the yawning, those of you that were telling me that I needed coffee, they were like, Tisha needs some coffee. The yawning, and you tell me if I'm wrong on this, but for me, and I've just found this in my own mindfulness practice, when I yawn, it means that I am releasing that energy and transmuting it and kind of recentering myself. Is that what it means for you as well? Would you tell me that as my yoga teacher?
Yeah, definitely. I think the yawn is a good thing because it's showing that your body is remembering to relax. Because again, we're so in that sympathetic nervous system. Because originally that was designed, fight or flight, to run from the bear, right? And now the bear, right, is all the stress, the anxiety from day to day, that we're constantly in that state of sympathetic nervous system that we forget we have that natural, parasympathetic nervous system to calm down. So I think that yawn is that reminder that you're doing it, your body. So that's the thing, your body remembers, our body is so fascinating. The body can heal itself. The body knows what to do. It's so intuitive. And that's why when we quiet the mind, we can actually listen, because a lot of times, that backache isn't the backache, right? It's little things that snowball. So if we become more aware of it, then it all starts to function better, right? So
I think you're right. I think there is something to be said about that. Everybody in the chat, including my colleague Ryan, who I talked on the phone with right before this session, who said, I'm not going to do the yoga. You have convinced him to now start doing some form of yoga or breathing, right? Or mindfulness, which I think is important. I think, like you said, we all are in technology. It's go, 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 go. There is this whole hustle culture, where we have to always be busy. And I think it's about reprogramming our brains. And that's what this is doing. We have to be consistent with it though, right? Like it needs to be a daily practice. And I think I was telling in the chat, I do hot yoga. I do yoga where, and Pilates and things where it's, I think 125 degrees in my studio. But it helps me when I go there. I'm in that habit, and that is where I do the mindfulness, right? I start my day off that way. And you're right with the I am statements. I think it's very important. I was sharing in the chat, and you probably will love this, but as a new teacher, I understood that self-talk that some of those students have learned. And I knew when they came into my classroom that it was important for me to change that self-talk to something positive. So I had I am statements that I printed out and this was a long time ago, Amy, when we had desktop computers only, but I would put it on every desktop computer and remind them on a daily basis that they are whatever they say they are. And in the beginning, they thought I was really wacky and they didn't like it. But by the end of the year, it really did make a difference for so many of them. So I appreciate you joining us. This is amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. So
absolutely.
Remember that restful culture. It's hard to go against the grain because it's like, do like I'm not doing anything, but you actually are, So again, it's just practicing, even if it's a minute a day of just doing something for yourself, putting the phone away, going outside in nature, just something for you, and then add another minute to it. You can gradually, make it that practice, that routine that you're going to find success in. So,
again, you have inspired our community. They are asking Amy and Adam and Ryan at this moment to go into the circle community and add a mindfulness section. So we're going to be looking to you, Amy, to lead our community in this, just because you are a great leader. I want to connect with you after this session and talk more about this. And all of your resources can be found in the collection, correct?
Yes, I put everything there. So as I find more, I'll keep adding to it. But
Absolutely.
I have different examples from, the Wakelets, from the Seesaw to Flip, just again, using other tech tools to get the mindfulness. Because sometimes with the kids, they want to do more tech because that's the culture they live in. So again, meeting your students where they are, if they're really into that, if they really like to draw, do more art meditations. It doesn't have to be one thing, just exploring different options, seeing what works best for you, and you can learn a lot from your students as well. So they're my greatest teachers. So it's just trial and error sometimes, So again, follow your heart. That's my best advice, is just that intuitive nature that you know what you need when you need it, but we just got to listen, because that voice kind of gets lost in the hustle and bustle of society. So remember, you matter, so.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you so much. It's a Mindfulness Friday, Amy, because our next session coming up is Mindfulness with James, Destiny, and Chris at the top of the hour. So all of you that have joined Amy and I for the session, make sure you come back to join for that next session. Also, make sure that you are sharing your experience with this session, any of the tips that Amy gave. Tweet those out with a photo or a screenshot. You can always come back to this recording. Amy, I'm imagining if I were still in the classroom, I would put this on and actually show my students. So bookmark, the Wakelet YouTube channel, find Amy's session, go back over that if you need the guidance. Make sure you're hashtagging Wakelet Community Week and you're tagging at Wakelet. Don't forget about all the prizes. Remember that the really great prizes, the prize to ISTE 2024. There will not be a certificate for this session, but you will get a digital collectible. And make sure that you are looking for that Wakelet profile at wakelet.com/Wakelet Community Week 2023. Amy, thank you again so much. We will see you over on social and in that circle community. We'll see you all in just a couple of minutes. So come back for that next session and we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.